Get great deals on the latest phones, tablets, and business apps with O2 Business. Hey guys, welcome to BTech. I'm Basil. This is an HTC 10. This is an HTC One M9. The M9 was a flagship last year. I love the brushed metal back, how it led into the different tone sides. Blasted metal, felt rich in the hand. This thing had all the promise in the world when we held it at MWC for the first time, until we came to take a picture with that 20 megapixel Toshiba camera and felt like, well, we felt sad, honestly. We loved this phone, or could have loved this phone. It wasn't just the camera that let it down. It had the first generation Snapdragon 810 inside, and that got really, really warm. And when we paired the two together, it just became very difficult for us to recommend people buy it with all the cool phones out there, like the S6 Edge, which won our flagship of the year. Off the bat though, it's just a few moments with the HTC 10. This looks and feels like a much more appealing proposition, not least of all because it's got a real point of differentiation with its audio focus. I'll jump onto that in a sec, but starting, you can see design-wise they're very different. HTC One M9 has a curvaceous backing and feels good, expensive in the hand. I'm not quite as fond of the HTC 10 on first impression. Looks kind of like a Batmobile, looks very masculine. You've got very heavily chamfered edges, really extreme bevel. Still, it does feel more appealing than it looks in hand. There is a curve around the back, kind of reminds me of a metal version of an HTC One X or something along those lines. The flat sides also mean it's very easy to keep a decent hold of, doesn't feel like it's going to fall out of your hand anytime soon. This feels like it means business, and you know what, when you look at the spec sheet and you see what this thing has on it, it definitely does mean business. The front camera starts as 5 ultra pixel with image stabilization and autofocus as well. Next to it is a front speaker. Now the speaker on the left of the camera is a tweeter, down at the base is more of a subwoofer, so you've got this speaker combination that is effectively stereo sound, but unconventional stereo sound. The screen itself is 5.2 inches Quad HD resolution SLCD 5. That's versus a 5-inch Full HD SLCD 3 panel. You can also see there's much better screen to body ratio or screen to bezel ratio than on its predecessor, which is great. To the left hand side is the micro SD card. This is important because it means you've got adoptable storage on here. You can therefore fuse the micro SD card memory and install applications on there. You've also got high res audio support. So the high resolution audio will not only output through dedicated headphones that you buy separately, but it will ship with a pair of high res audio headphones, and it will even record in 24-bit high res audio too when recording video in 4K or Full HD. Both of these devices can record 4K and Full HD, but suffice to say, given the poor low light performance we found the HTC One M9 camera fared with, we're keener to do it on this bad boy right here. You've also got laser autofocus and a dual tone flash. Fingerprint scanner below the screen, capacitive buttons either side. Like I said, very different direction, and while initially the design wasn't quite as favorable for me personally, after using it for a little bit, I'm really happy that HTC has done what they did. I can also say the same about what is inside the screen. Now you've got HTC's Sense on the HTC One M9, and it's a HTC Sense 7, I think it is. It's Sense through and through. You've got HTC's gallery application and a whole load of other stuff that makes you know this is Sense. The new version of Sense is actually a little bit more Googleified, if that's the word, which it isn't, but it is now. What you've got is applications, well, one application for every purpose. So there's one gallery application, and it's Google Photos. You don't have HTC's gallery app. You have one web browser. It's Chrome, not HTC's web browser. You have one calendar application. It's Google Calendar, not the HTC calendar. So HTC sacrificed a lot of what made sense in order to make it all just an easier experience for anyone getting the phone out of the box. You do, however, thankfully have HTC's camera application, and they've made that better. So pull down from the top and you can very clearly see you've got very quick access to Pro mode, which means you've got stuff like manual focus and all the manual controls. Yay! The camera should also perform better based on everything that HTC's told us around the sensor. It's got a 12 ultra pixel sensor. Now they've taken with a pinch of salt because it's a Sony sensor. HTC didn't manufacture this in partnership with anyone like they did their past ultra ultra-pixel sensor, but it has nice big pixels that should capture loads of light, and it's an f1.8 lens as well. Paired with that manual mode, we're sure we could get some great results from it. We're very hopeful at the very least. Watch this space to see if we can. Like I said earlier, both shoot 4K video and full HD too. You will get higher quality audio recording on the HTC 10. In addition, gaming should be brilliant across both, save for the fact that we found the HTC One M9 overheated a little bit. By overheated, I just mean got a little bit uncomfortable. Haven't played games too much on the HTC 10. The one thing that there is on the HTC 10 is Boost Plus. That's been introduced to improve performance with gaming, and what it does is, for example, we installed Final Fantasy 10, it told us that we'd save battery and we'd get better results if we played it in full HD, and so it doesn't output in 2K, the native resolution. And it doesn't just work across games as well. It'll manage memory hungry apps like Chrome, for example, to just give you better performance and ensure everything doesn't grind to a halt like it does, for example, on the Xperia Z5 Compact. We really struggled with that after a couple of months. Fingers crossed the performance will stay silky smooth on this thing, because you know what? It really is silky smooth. HTC's focused on optimization so much they even claim it's more silky smooth than the iPhone. Whether it is or isn't, we can't say just yet, but give us a couple of weeks with this device, and if it still performs this well, I, for one, will be very impressed. Under the hood, Snapdragon 810 first generation versus Snapdragon 820, and 3 GB of RAM versus 4 GB of RAM. Memory is 32 GB across both, but like I said, adaptable storage, and you're going to have super fast browsing speeds across both as well. Cat 6 LTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. Both have NFC though, neither have wireless charging. That's pretty much it. They're the key differences. I'm really excited by what HTC is doing, especially around the audio story. I'm very hopeful and optimistic around the camera on this thing. While I'm not the biggest fan of the design at this stage, if it grows on me as much as everything else has, then I should be a convert by the time I come to review it. What about you guys? What do you think? Do you think HTC was balmy for ditching the design direction of the HTC One M series? Or do you think the HTC 10 is the fresh input that they need to really bring things back? Let us know in the comments section. Like this video, click like the channel, subscribe. It's how you'll stay on top of everything that we do. Thanks for watching. Get great deals on the latest phones, tablets and business apps with O2 Business.